Another fantastic Comic Con I've just been to. I met Daniel Gillis, Daniel Campbell, Danielle Rose Russell, Jenny Boyd, Andy Serkis, Karen David, and Catherine McMahon. And it was brilliant. It was in the Excel in London, and it was for the love of fantasy. And this was purely based on fantasy characters, fantasy shows. Um, there was loads of Lord of the Rings there. Now, I can take and leave the Lord of the Rings. I like it, but there's members of my family and friends who like it a lot more than I do. I was more Harry Potter and Percy Jackson, Doctor Who, and Narnia. Well, Doctor Who is my big thing, but in terms of fantasy, I was more Once Upon a Time, and last year I really got into Vampire Diaries series, um, the originals, Legacies. I watched a series a few years ago called Fate the Ring Saga that had two seasons. Then it was with Netflix, and Netflix does what Netflix does. It cancels it after two series, so I was really into it. This character played by Abigail Cohen, Bloom Peters. She was discovering who her mum was. She was discovering her destiny. She went to the Dark Realm, and then just at the end of series two, they cancelled it. So I was gutted. But then I got into the originals and I got into Legacies, discovered all about Hope Michelson and Klaus and all of them. And it was really, really good because when I used to think of the Vampire Diaries, I thought, oh, it was years ago. So I thought, maybe that's not something all lads do. And I was wanting to be cool. I was wanting. So I didn't get think about this Vampire Diaries. I heard of it, but I thought, oh, maybe that's something. It's not probably right for me to watch, but what is right? Everything's right. It's just people's opinions. People are entitled to their opinions, but people at the end of the day do what they do, and I like my fantasy. I like Vampire Diaries. I like Once Upon a Time. I like, that's me. It's not me being laddie. It's not me being. I don't think there's anything girly about me, but it's just what I like. Everybody likes their own thing. You might like football. You might like table tennis. You might like Britain's Got Talent. You might like Doctor Who. You might like The Walking Dead. You might like any show. So everybody's got the shows they like. For me, at the moment, it's really, really the Vampire Diaries. I'm watching all of them. I also got my photo with Kat McNamara, who plays Claire Fairchild in Shadowhunters. I've just started watching that, and I'm loving it. And yeah, it's brilliant. And so, because I've only really been watching Shadowhunters for 2 weeks, even though I've wanted to start watching it for years, um, I was limited. I wanted to meet Andy Serkis. I wanted to meet um, Daniel Gillis. I wanted to meet Danielle Rose Russell. So there were other people there from Shadowhunters, but I met Clary. So maybe next time if I go, I'll probably meet Jace, and I don't know all the actors' names. So yeah, Jace is the character. So meet I'd meet more of them, and they already say there's going to be For the Love of Fantasy next year. So hopefully next year we'll get some more Once Upon a Time. There's Princess Jasmine, but hopefully they'll get Jennifer Morrison, Emma Swan, and they'll get Rumpelstiltskin, Robert Carlyle. They'll get Colin O'Donoghue, Captain Hook. Hopefully they'll get a bit of Harry Potter. That would just be mad if I met somebody like Emma Watson or Daniel Radcliffe. And I already have the chance to meet Matthew Lewis, who plays Neville Longbottom, at Showmasters Comic Con in November. And I'm already having my photo with Toby Jones, who plays Dobby. So maybe I will. My hope is because they've got favourite argument going, Martha Jones. I'm hoping, because they put a message on the Facebook page a few weeks ago saying, what doctors would you like? Now, surprisingly, I was the only one who said, David Tennant. But I think everybody else who goes to these Comic Cons met him back in 2022. But I only really started going to the Comic Cons properly in early 2024. But this year, it seems going to Spring Comic Con in 2024, I've met so many people. I've been to Monopoly events, I've been to Showmaster events. Now wishing I had more money because I would like to go to a Comic Con in, so that's specifically Stargate Atlantis, the 12 Monkeys in September, but I think that's probably going to be one I'm going to have to miss, even though I would like to meet Shepard, Joe Flanagan, Keller, Jewel State, the 12 Monkeys cast, James Cole. Again, I know characters, I don't know actors, but hopefully, I'll get to Comic Con Northeast, even though so far the only person I would like to have my photo with there is Jenna Waycliffe, who plays Kate Stewart in Doctor Who. But at the moment, my next Comic Con is Showmasters WinterCon, and I'm hoping maybe to have my photo with Sir Derek Jacobi, Professor Yana, maybe Noah, who plays Will in Stranger Things. But at the moment, this summer, I feel I've certainly done my Comic Cons with Showmasters in July and Monopoly for the Love of Fantasy just yesterday. So, but more on yesterday, I stayed in London and I got the tube and I got the bus to Excel. And when I went to Excel, I've never been to that area before. If you've never been, it is massive. It's massive. It's big, and you're walking through, and I didn't know where I was gonna go. And then there was a hall bigger than any Comic Con hall I've been to. Yeah. And yeah, there was so many people. There was some brilliant costumes. There was a baby dressed as an elf from, it was just, and then there was so many people dressed as hobbits, elves. There was people wearing dwarf costumes. It was fantastic. And so yeah, I was mainly there for Legacies because I'm a big fan of Legacies. I watched them all over last year. To be honest with you, there was a time last year when I was sort of struggling. I was sort of looking at myself, and I just started a new job, and I wasn't happy with another job I was in, and I wanted to cut down on something, and so I stopped something that was making me unhappy, and I changed my lifestyle a bit. And there was a few months when I was sort of just looking for something, and then there came Legacies. I bought the DVD in April, and then through the course of May, I just loved it. It's what helped me in quite a dark time last year, watching Legacies every night before bed, and I loved its magic. I loved the plot. I loved how Hope was always destined to become the Tribrid, but she knew Malifaux, who was the big. She had to defeat Malifaux, but Malifaux was in Landon, her boyfriend's body, sort of. So to defeat Malifaux, she had to become the Tribrid, and the Tribrid was the only thing who could defeat Malifaux. So to become the Tribrid, she had to sacrifice the love of her life. Basically, she had to get rid of Landon. And yeah, Lizzie Saltzman. So there's Lizzie and Josie. Josie Kelly Bright, that wasn't there yesterday, but I got my photo with Jenny Boyd. I also got her autograph. I really wanted to get Danielle Rose Russell's autograph as well, and I actually bought it. She cancelled and then she rebooked. So by then I'd sort of got into Shadowhunters, booked my photo with Kat McMara, They said, would you like a refund or would you like to change it to Karen David, who came in as a replacement? And I watched Walter Road in my high school years, so I watched Series 6 as one of my favourite series. And so she, of course, played the Spanish City, the Spanish teacher, Miss Francesca Montoya. So I knew her from that. She also appeared in Once Upon a Time as Princess Jasmine, and then she was in Legacies. So I thought, she's a good person to meet. I've always been a fan of Aladdin, so of course she was Princess Jasmine. And yeah, so I changed instead of getting a refund, which if I got the refund, maybe I might have saved the money for the autograph. But no, I decided to change it to Karen David. Then Danielle Rose Russell came in. Well, by then I was starting to run out of money because I'd booked my train, my weekend ticket for the Showmasters event in the winter. So no, I didn't get Danielle's autograph, but hopefully, they go all over the place. I met Paul Wesley, who plays Stefan Salvatore, last year in Comic Con Northeast. So I've met Stefan Salvatore, I've met Elijah and Michelson brother, and hopefully I'll meet Klaus and Damon, and maybe hopefully I'll meet Elena. And I was worried I didn't think Kelly Bryant, who plays Josie, did many Comic Cons, but apparently she does, because I think she left pretty quickly. I think there's rumours going about how she was sort of just quickly went out of Legacies and didn't stay till the end of the series. I wish Legacies had a season 5 because Alaric had just left, Caroline had just come in to replace him, and I think that would have been good. Apparently, if there was a season 5, they would have included Elena and Damon's daughter, so it would have been good seeing Klaus and Haley's daughter, Hope, being with like being surrounded, and sort of her interaction with Elena and Damon's daughter, whoever she is. But apparently there are plans to continue the series. I'm still actually a little bit new, so I've watched the originals, I've watched Legacies, and I'm watching them all in reverse order because I'm an idiot. So I watched Legacies, then I watched the originals, and now I'm up to season 4 of the Vampire Diaries. So I'm watching that alongside starting Supernatural, alongside Shadowhunters, and I'm even thinking about Teen Wolf. So at the moment, all fantasy. So I'll definitely probably go to next year's for the love of fantasy. An opportunity which I had, but I didn't take it, was have my photo with Gandalf, Sir Ian McLennan. Some of my family and friends are saying, "Oh, you're mad." But what was mad to me was £200 for the ticket, and I thought, "Oh, that's a bit expensive. Can I justify that?" But apparently, that's going to become like gold dust. So I was a bit of an idiot there, but at least I had my photo with Andy Serkis, who big name, Snoke, King Khan, Caesar, Gollum, and I'm gonna sound a bit cheeky here, but I actually think now you look like Gollum. But then I thought, of course, that Mantis looks like Mantis. Pom looks like Mantis. A photo of Toby. So will he look like Dobby? I mean, maybe I'm just thinking that because I know that's the characters to play. But yeah. So if Doctor Who doesn't come back for a while, I think I've got more than enough shows to keep me going. But it was a bit weird going to a Comic Con that wasn't Doctor Who related at all. There was some Doctor Who merch there, but I'd just spent a fortune in July, and I'm hoping to save some money for Showmasters event in November. So yeah, at the moment, the only Comic Con coming up now is the Showmasters event, but maybe I might go to Comic Con Northeast. But apparently they're getting big names, and if David Tennant's going to Showmasters event, that's bye bye bank account. Especially if it's David Tennant and more people are like, I mean, in July I had like 8 photos, and yesterday there was one person who I was gonna have my photo with, but he was at the same time as another. It was Quidry who plays MJ in Legacies. He was the same time as Karen David, um, the same photo slot, and there was one girl who was also queuing up for a photo of Karen David who said to the event staff, I'm also have my photo with him at the same time, and so the quickly got her boom boom, and I thought maybe I should, but I was also in London with my family, so I thought I want to quickly speed this up. It's like 4 o'clock. I want to catch them for a bit, and so yeah, I lost £30, but ah, it's just money at the end of the day. Hopefully, I will meet Milton Greasley, the character Quid Chief, who's at another Comic Con event. Hopefully, I'll meet Landon. Hopefully, I'll meet Alaric Saltzman. Hopefully, I'll meet Cleo. Hopefully, you know. But no, it was a brilliant event. And if you have the chance next year, because I think they quickly changed, like they changed them all. There was people last year like Joseph Morgan, Klaus. He went last year to For the Love of Fantasy, but he didn't go this year. So I think they do change the people around quite a bit. So I don't know who they're gonna get next year. They got the Salvatore brothers last year, so of course I met Paul in Northeast, but I didn't meet Damon. But who knows who's going to be next year? Anyway, that's another vlog and another Comic Con down.